All right, here we are in February 2026. If you're looking around online for anything having to do with Chris Hemsworth and Alzheimer's disease, or Chris Hemsworth and dementia, about how there is some technique or 60 Minutes report or something having to do with memory loss, brain fog, Alzheimer's disease, or dementia, I have the information you need. So you saw something online that was a scam. Chris Hemsworth is not involved in anything trying to sell a recipe or any sort of supplements or dropper bottle or anything like that having to do with memory loss or anything having to do with cognition. So that's a scam. And you probably saw a website that at first, before a video, it says something like Chris Hemsworth breaks down in new documentary after learning his father's Alzheimer's could have been prevented. And it shows him with 60 Minutes. And here's what I noticed with that 60 Minutes thing. You can see here on my screen, I'm looking at Google Gemini, and I asked it to do a SynthID check on this fake image of, it looks like, I guess that might be his dad. I haven't looked that up, but this is a fake image of Chris Hemsworth. You can kind of tell if you're an AI generated image, sort of a person who can figure these things out and can spot them just visually. Because I did a SynthID check, and what that basically does is I say, hey, Google Gemini, do you see the invisible watermark that you add to Google created AI images that only Google can see? Let me know. And so it says here, this image contains a 60 Minutes logo and appears to show actor Chris Hemsworth in an emotional state alongside an inset of an older man. According to a SynthID check, most or all of this image was edited or generated with Google AI. In addition to the digital watermark, there are several visual indicators. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But basically, here's the main part. Yes, it detected a SynthID watermark, which is not a surprise. And I saw this going around on a website that makes a lot of different claims about Dr. Sanjay Gupta and Chris Hemsworth. Maybe you saw other doctors, no doctors, hospitals, universities, or famous people ever endorsed what this product is going to be. And it might be a number of different products. It might be Memo Genesis, MemoTril, Memo Master, something having to do with memory. There are lots of products out there where you can't necessarily tell where they're coming from, the parent company, where's the founder's name, where do they bottle the product. All that stuff is difficult to find for whatever reason. And you might even see Dr. Ben Carson, I don't know, lots of other stuff. I'm going to show you here on my screen just a few minutes, just a few seconds actually, it's not going to be that long, how they're going to talk about a honey recipe. Dr. Ben Carson, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, a bunch of other stuff. And I'll go to that right now. And on the page I'm going to show you, in the video I'm going to show you, it pretends to be 60 Minutes. It says Stanford confirms this one device you are holding is doing more damage to your brain than aging. Dr. Attia reveals how 193 patients in Palo Alto reversed Alzheimer's symptoms after ingesting rare gold trick. Let's hit play on this right now. None of this is authentic. They never covered it.
Tonight, we reveal how Chris Hemsworth, Wendy Williams, Sharon Stone, and other celebrities are reversing memory loss using a simple, all-natural method known as the Asian Honey Protocol. A simple solution that costs less than $1 and, according to experts, removes the toxic metal that erases your memories and reactivates the neurotransmitter responsible for memory.
So it says no drugs. That's hilarious because they're going to offer you drugs like prescription drugs or over the counter, whatever you call it, pills, right? Supplements. So the promise of the Asian honey trick or Asian honey recipe is a lie just to get you to watch the entire video. There is no recipe they ever end up revealing. It just looks interesting. What's that big honeycomb thing they're cutting through with the big machete? Maybe it's something that can have miracle properties, and it doesn't. Doesn't at all.
Drugs, no side effects, and up to 10 times more effective than Donepezil when prepared correctly. And what shocked investigators the most, thousands of people following this morning ritual are reversing memory loss and getting out of the Alzheimer's risk zone in as little as 3 weeks. So tonight, you'll hear directly from the creator, Dr. Ben Carson, the neurosurgeon behind this protocol that's helping thousands fight back against Alzheimer's. He'll walk you through the honey-based protocol that's going viral around the world and reversing what many doctors once claimed was irreversible. But that's not all. Wendy Williams, whose battle with dementia has been widely covered in the media, used this exact same protocol and began regaining cognitive functions doctors believed were permanently lost.
So Dr. Ben Carson, Wendy Williams have nothing to do with this again. No doctors, hospitals, universities, or famous people have anything to do with something having to do with Chris Hemsworth and memory loss and Alzheimer's disease and Chris Hemsworth having to do with dementia. None of that. It's all garbage, nonsense, fake, for lack of a better word. That I want staying G-rated, you know. You can imagine the other things I'd be saying.
With results like these, it's impossible to ignore what's happening. In a recent podcast, Wendy Williams opened up about her battle with dementia and revealed how the protocol involving Asian honey is bringing her back.
After major news outlets reported I was in a terminal state, they called me the Walking Dead, said I'd never be myself again. Those headlines were brutal. But thanks to the Asian honey protocol, which I started preparing every day exactly the way Dr. Ben Carson showed me. Within just 2 weeks, I could remember full conversations, something that had been impossible before. And after 2 months, my mental clarity was back. No prescription meds, no pricey stimulants that just make you jittery. The scans you're seeing on the screen, images of my brain, the cognitive tests are real proof of what this natural protocol can do. I remembered names, dates, places like a fog had finally lifted. But today, the results speak for themselves. I just want to say thank you, truly. Because I believe anyone feeling their mind slipping away should try this before it's too late. And maybe the greatest gift isn't just remembering the people you love, it's knowing they recognize you again too.
And Wendy Williams wasn't the only one. Sharon Stone also saw her life transformed by this protocol.
After my stroke, the doctors diagnosed me with early onset Alzheimer's. I would forget where I was. I mixed up my kids' names. At one dinner, I even asked my brother who he was. My family had already started looking into nursing homes. The doctors said there was no way back. That's when I began Dr. Ben Carson's Asian honey protocol. 30 days later, the neurologist looked at my scans and said, Sharon, the Alzheimer's has been reversed.
Out of all the powerful stories I've heard, maybe none touched me as deeply as Chris Hemsworth's, who watched his own father fade away until he found this protocol.
When my dad was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, I was in shock. The man who taught me everything started forgetting who I was. We tried everything, expensive meds, therapy, brain games. I even made a documentary about it. Nothing worked. Then Bruce Willis's wife sent us a video of Dr. Ben Carson explaining a honey-based protocol. At first, it sounded too simple to be real, but when you're watching someone you love disappear, you'll try anything. And that's when everything changed. In a few weeks, my dad came back. More present, more clear, that spark in his eyes again. He remembered his grandkids' names, told stories no one had heard in years. Last month, his neurologist looked at the scans and said his Alzheimer's has been reversed. After years of watching him fade away, a protocol that cost less than $1 did what thousands in medications couldn't. If someone you love is disappearing, don't wait. I would give anything to have started sooner.
And Chris's dad wasn't the only one. Robert De Niro.
So with this, what they're doing, the scammers, they're claiming Chris Hemsworth has something to do with Alzheimer's, dementia, reversal. There's a recipe or something. It's a complete lie. Don't believe that sort of thing. That is a deep fake. Chris Hemsworth didn't actually say the words you just saw right there. They basically, the scammers are terrible people using someone's, I guess if Chris Hemsworth his dad actually had some sort of an issue, they're using that to sell scam products, whatever, to people in a very awful way. And that says a lot about who the scammers are and how much they value other people, right? I mean, doesn't make any sense. All right, so basically this Chris Hemsworth dementia thing, Chris Hemsworth Alzheimer's, whatever, it eventually goes to a product. In this case, it's going to be MemoTril, MemoTril. It's a bottle of supplements, and it claims to be a cognitive support formula. But my advice is always going to be go see a doctor. You don't know if this is actually going to have a real money-back guarantee going through a scam funnel, unofficial website. Might charge you more money than you thought. Might come with subscription charges, whatever the case may be. Don't trust these sorts of things. There is no honey recipe. Honey does not have miracle properties for memory loss and Alzheimer's and dementia. They say honey because they always pick a household item, an herb, a spice, a fruit, a vegetable. The scammers pick one of those items and they claim it's part of a trick, a method, a ritual, a habit, a 7-second this, a morning this, a nighttime, a bedtime this, whatever. And they come up with this marketing phraseology. Can't believe I just used that word. I never used that word. To try to get you to make a purchase of their product. They're desperate. They want your credit card number badly. Don't give it to them. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay far away from this stuff. There's a join button down below if you want to help my scam busting efforts. I'd really appreciate it. And Dr. Ben Carson has nothing to do with any of this. So Chris Hemsworth, Alzheimer's disease, Chris Hemsworth, dementia. This stuff uses his image and likeness without permission. And the reason why he probably isn't going to sue them, it's just too hard to find these people, or it's not worth the time and effort. You know, hopefully these people running these scams, their whole empire will come tumbling down one day. And it won't be that big of a surprise because I see it happen. I've seen it happen before with big scam operations for medicinal products. They think everything's going to be okay. And then somehow they are found out, whether it's Clint Eastwood's people finding people in Lithuania and then in LA trying to use his image and likeness in 2 separate cases for CBD products. And he won both lawsuits in 2 different years, millions of dollars in each one. Pretty cool. And also, the whole thing with keto gummies, this Central Florida lawsuit, that didn't go down so well for those people either. So this stuff, these people probably never think anything's ever actually going to happen. But my hope is that something does. Stay far away from this. Thank you for watching.